Hi everyone, so this is Aisa Fatima Perez. I am here to give you my presentation. My topic is Categories of Social Responsibility, Philanthropic Rights. What is philanthropic responsibility? Business is expected to be a good corporate citizen to fulfill its philanthropic responsibility to contribute financial and human resources to the community and to improve the quality of life, provide programs supporting community like education, health or human resources, culture and arts, civic, promote and engage volunteerism. There are 5 components of philanthropic responsibility. First, it is important to perform in a manner consistent with the philanthropic and charitable expectations of society. Second, it is important to assist the fine and performing arts. Third, it is important that managers and employees participate in voluntary and charitable activities within their local communities. Fourth, it is important to provide assistance to private and public educational institutions. Fifth and finally, it is important to assist voluntarily those projects that enhance a community's quality of life. Now, let us know why philanthropy is important. Philanthropy is important because it provides opportunities. Philanthropy supports projects and endeavors that may be too unpopular or controversial to gain the widespread support of the general public or the government. For that reason, philanthropy is a very important part of a democratic society. When we say philanthropic corporate social responsibility, this involves donating funds, goods or services to another organization or cause. For example, the local branch of a bank might donate money to fund the purchase of uniforms for a school sports team, or a healthcare company might donate to the city. An excellent example of corporate social responsibility, or CSR, is the global giant Johnson & Johnson. They have focused on reducing the impact on the planet for 3 decades. Their initiatives range from leveraging the power of the wind to providing safe water to the communities around the world. As illustrated in Figure 4, the pyramid of corporate social responsibility, we can see that the philanthropic responsibility is located at the 4th level. This means be a good corporate citizen, contribute resources to the community, and improve the quality of life. Philanthropic responsibility, illustrated in Figure 8, refers to corporations acting as a good corporate citizens by contributing resources to the community and improves quality of life. The distinction between ethical and philanthropic is that the philanthropic one is not expected in an ethical or moral sense. It is good if businesses give away charities, but they are not seen as unethical corporations if they are not engaged in those kinds of activities. Philanthropic responsibility is therefore more discretionary on the part of business. At this juncture, we will watch a video wherein we can understand more why do companies practice corporate social responsibility and what is the role of philanthropy.
Corporate social responsibility is a movement that's gaining support from a lot of companies. Today, we find out what philanthropy's role is in a businessman's life. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, refers to a business practice that involves participating in initiatives that benefit society. Giving back is a strange animal, though. Corporate social responsibility has taken on many meanings. To a huge conglomerate, donating to a charity of choice is merely a way of reducing taxes. But to many advertising agencies, it is more often than not the current brief from brands to come up with a way for X soda or Y telco to tug at the consumer's heartstrings, to come up with a campaign centered around a hot social issue to show that they care. Then there are some who are really out to help their fellow men through the businesses they've either created from the ground up or those they've decided to join because of the core values that the existing businesses espouse.
As a businessman, as an executive, philanthropy is very important, and not only because it's a personal belief that I have about paying forward and helping others, but because being part of the MVP group of companies, it is really ingrained in the DNA of the group to make sure that while business flourish, you're able to also ensure that you're able to include and help others. So in other words, we always believe that when a company does well, it can do well also in serving others. So philanthropy is definitely in our gene, and it's in our core.
To move CSR from thought to action, big corporations or even smaller businesses usually choose initiatives or causes that are close to the company's belief system. One such example was the recent gala of the Manila Symphony Orchestra, entitled For the Love of Music, which saw CEOs pledge donations to the symphony's beneficiary, the Basilio Manolo Musical Scholarship Fund. According to the symphony's marketing director Carlos Garchitorena, the event finally came to be after 2 years in the making, as it was a quest to find corporate sponsors and friends to help forward the symphony's cause, which is to help budding musicians complete their education.
We're putting 4 of our youngest members of the orchestra, violinists, through UST, and so they're finishing their music conservatory. Mr. Solares, our executive director, was talking about how expensive it is because music lessons at that level are one-on-one, right? So if you're being taught by just one person, it's, you don't share the cost with 30 other classmates, and in the same way, the teacher also is limited to just one student. It's a tight financial thing to guarantee that they finish college and they're able to join the MSO and revitalize the MSO.
The beneficiaries are the scholars of MSO. I personally can relate to this because I come from a family of musicians. I have an uncle who's been in the symphony. My father used to be a very active musician as well, and I know how hard it is for people like them to be able to earn a living. Sometimes being a musician is a passion, but sometimes it does not pay as much as probably like a regular job or a regular business. And in a lot of ways, it's they are heroes, I believe.
And much as going the distance with philanthropic programs and advocacies is a great way to reach out to those who need help, sometimes having a thriving business that gives employment to people who are in dire need of it can be a form of doing a great deed for your society as well.
I think philanthropy in itself is a very general word. I think we can all help in our own little ways. You don't even have to do something like this to be able to help other people. I think even the jobs that you provide for the people that you serve in your own respective companies, I think it's a pretty big contribution already to society.
Well, as the saying goes, the more you give, the more you receive. Philanthropy is all about your passion for your advocacy and what you're willing to do to support it.
As a recap from the video that we have watched earlier, CSR is a business practice that involves participating in initiatives that benefit society. When a company does well, they can also do well in serving others. Big corporations or even smaller businesses usually choose initiatives or causes that are close to the company's belief system. Philanthropic programs and advocacies are great ways to reach out to those who need help. Sometimes having a thriving business that gives employment to people who are in dire need of it can be a form of doing great deed for your society as well. Philanthropy is about your passion, about your advocacy, and your willingness to support it. For the most awaited part of this presentation, here is my question. Is philanthropy and charity different from each other? If so, what is the difference between the both of them? Cite an example wherein somehow they are correlated to each other. So that was it. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from my presentation.